What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Kia Sportage SX Prestige. Huge thank you to Safford Brown Kia of Manassas, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Sportage or any Kia product, then I'll be sure to have their information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. Temperature-wise, it is absolutely gorgeous out right now, but I wanted to apologize in advance for all the ambient noise, like the planes flying over, like the wind. Unfortunately, I do not have control over either one of those. So just like usual, first, I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Kia Sportage SX Prestige, and this particular one has been painted in the $395 Dawning Red. I wanted to preface this video by saying there have been no significant changes made to the 2024 Sportage due to the refresh that it underwent last year for the 2023 model year. But this being the SX Prestige, as standard, you get LED projector headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Here is a view of the front end of the SX Prestige, and you may be able to tell you have your silver Kia logo located at the center of the hood. Coming down just a little bit, you get a gloss black front grille with that satin chrome accent color trim. Just beneath that trim, you have a forward-facing camera, and that is because the SX Prestige comes standard with a 360-degree view camera system. Also, safety-wise, as standard, you get 4 forward-facing sensors, and then back to the stylistic traits, you get a gloss black lower fascia with the L-shaped satin chrome accenting. So all of this down here is gloss black. You can see this is the satin chrome accenting in that L shape. Same thing over here. And I also wanted to say that with all-wheel drive, you get 8.3 inches of ground clearance. If you got front wheel drive, which is what comes standard, you get over an inch less of ground clearance. Now, as mentioned, you get that gloss black front fascia. That gloss black fascia leads into your gloss black wheel arch moldings. And then coming down, these are the standard and only wheels you can get with this model, and they are 19-inch gloss black with machine accent wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 235/55 Michelin Primacy all-season tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick, and I'm also going to let you know, if you opted for all-wheel drive on the SX Prestige, you also get the center locking differential. Basically, what the center locking differential does is that it applies the same amount of torque to all 4 of your wheels at the same time to hopefully spin you out of a snowbank or something like that if you do end up getting stuck. And then also, as standard with this thing, you get rain sensing wipers. But working my way on down the side, you get these body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And also, as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding. You will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right-hand side of your passenger side mirror. And then you also get a camera at the bottom of both of your side view mirrors, and these cameras work with your 360-degree view camera system as well as your blind spot view system. Now I'm going to take a step back, give you a side profile shot of this thing in the direct sunlight. This red is absolutely beautiful. However, you can see right now we're parked in the shade, so you can't really see the red paint all that well. But at the top of the roof line, you get the gloss black roof rails. You also get the gloss black window trim. Coming down a little bit more, you get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind though, the keyless access function is only on your front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get the keyless access function. But at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get the gloss black door cladding with that satin chrome accent color trim. So you can see all of this down here is gloss black, the satin chrome accent trim. I'm going to give you a closer view of what that looks like right here. And then also on the driver's side, you have your fuel door. If you press on the fuel door, you do not get a capless filler neck, but 87 octane will do you just fine. Closing that back up, working my way up to here, you get a gloss black shark fin antenna. You get a body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light. One thing that I do like about the Sportage is that your wiper hides up underneath here, so it just gives it a more premium look back here without having that wiper that would sit right there. You do get also a rear window defroster and LED combination taillights. Here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. Taking a step to the right, here is a booty shot. You may be able to tell you also get some gloss black trim that connects your taillights, runs across the entire trunk. You also get silver badging back here, and if you follow your eye down, that is where you will find your backup camera. And as standard with this thing, you get a height adjustable power liftgate, and that is the speed in which the liftgate opens up. going to give you the instructions for the height adjustable liftgate there real quick. You can pause your screen, take a look at that. That is the button you would press to close the liftgate. But with the liftgate open, you have a ton of storage space here in the trunk area. I mean, I just did a video with a Kia Telluride, which is much bigger than this thing. And honestly, I like the way that the Sportage drives better. But also, you have a ton more storage space back here than you get in the Telluride. Obviously, the Telluride, you fold the third row seats down, you get about the same amount of storage space. But considering the size of this SUV, you have quite a bit of storage space back here, in my personal opinion. And then on the driver's side of the trunk, you get an LED light as well as a 12-volt power outlet. If you lift it up on this piece here, that is where you will find your spare tire, and that is what that looks like. Very good amount of storage space. Then you have the door handle looking thing like right here. You get the same thing on that side as well, and if you pull on the door handle, that is to drop your second row seats. Then you get an additional, I would say about 3.5 to 4 feet of storage space. Again, the front row seats are a little bit too far back for these to drop all the way down, but you can see you get an additional about 3.5 to 4 feet of storage space if you did put those second row seats down. But really, I'm going to put the price of the carpeted floor mats on screen right now. Other than that, not much going on back here. But if you press this button again, that is going to close the power liftgate. And while that liftgate is closing, we're going to finish things off here at the back end. So you get a gloss black rear bumper with 4 integrated parking sensors. At the center of your bumper, right about there, that is where you will find your reverse light. And then just like the front and the sides of this thing, you get the satin chrome accent color trim that kind of wraps around the bumper all the way down like that. And a max tow capacity of 2,500 pounds with all-wheel drive. And now I'm going to walk you around this thing, give you a 360-degree view walk around. When I first saw this thing, I was like, man, that thing kind of looks interesting. But as time has gone on, it's actually grown on me a little bit. I do think that the Telluride looks better, but this is definitely a better looking SUV than the Seltos in my personal opinion. And I love all the gloss black exterior trim that you get with the SX Prestige. Makes it look much fancier, I guess you would say, as compared to if the wheel arch moldings were like satin black. Same with that. If that was satin black, it would just look a little bit cheap. Love the gloss black accenting. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that makes 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 9.1 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 23 miles per gallon in the city, 26 miles per gallon on the highway for 25 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. I wanted to mention that the SX Prestige comes standard with front-wheel drive. If you wanted all-wheel drive, that is going to cost you an additional $1,800. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press this button right here, and it will unlock. You can press that very same button again and it will lock back up. This is what the key fob looks like. And going over the functions on the key fob, starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your power liftgate function, your panic function, and right here you have your remote start function. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it first, press and hold on this button, and she'll fire up. And that is what the Sportage sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. Now, this one being the SX Prestige, you get the black Syntex upholstery. That is what it looks like. We're going to start with the driver's side door panel. So at the top of the door panel, you get some vinyl wrapping. You get this striped trim. You get 2 memory seat adjustment settings. Here are your power side view mirror controls. You get your unlock and your lock functions. Automatic up and down windows at the front. You do not get automatic up or down windows at the back. That button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a nicely padded armrest, some storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and then as standard with this thing, you get an 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. Now, taking a look at these front seats again, there's a view of what they look like, and as standard, you get a 10-way power adjustable driver seat with 2-way power lumbar. You also get an 8-way power adjustable passenger seat, and these front seats are heated and ventilated as standard. But stepping on into the interior, let's hear what it sounds like when you close the door. Now let's fire it up from the interior's perspective. And that is what it sounds like when you fire the Sportage up from the driver's perspective. Now, basically what I'm gonna do is walk you throughout the entire interior. So first things first, you may be able to tell you get a little HVAC vent there. It's probably gonna mess with the audio a little bit. So if I click that, now the HVAC system is turned off. Coming over to here, these two buttons are to brighten and or dim the gauge cluster as well as the backlit buttons. I'm gonna turn that back off, be quiet. And then this is to turn the traction control system on or off. This is to open and or close the power lift gate. And if you pull on this, that is going to engage the parking brake. If you wanted to disengage the parking brake, you push your foot against the brake, push against that, and the parking brake will disengage. Coming to our steering column, if you flip that down, you get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, basically meaning you can push the steering wheel away from you, you can bring the steering wheel toward you, and it also moves up and down. Once you find your comfortable position, all you got to do is lock it right back into place. But now let's take a listen to the turn signal. You may also be able to tell that is your blind spot view system. I've been struggling to say that all day today. That is what the turn signal sounds like. And this is not only your turn signal control stock, this is also your headlight control stock, fog light control stock, and your high beam control stock. So all the way up, that is headlights on, and it also lets you know what it does over there. If you flip it down one, that is daytime running lights on, headlights automatic. All the way down is headlights off. Then that is fog lights off, that is fog lights on, and that is that. Now zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is also heated as standard. If you wanted to turn your heated steering wheel on, you would come over to here, you click on that, you get one level of adjustability with the steering wheel. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center, so let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the Sportage. Now, going over the different controls on the steering wheel, this is to speak to the vehicle. So basically, you could say AC to 68 degrees, and it would switch the AC system to 68 degrees. And then beneath that, you have your volume control. If you push on the volume control, that is going to mute the audio system. And then this is your tuning control. So if you push up, it's going to bring you backwards on a track. If you push down, it's going to bring you forwards on a track. And then if you click on that phone button, it's going to bring you into the phone screen on your infotainment system. And then the mode button and the start button, both of these are configurable buttons. So if you click on the mode button, it's going to bring you into this screen over here. And basically the mode screen, or the mode button, you can select all of these. So if you wanted to switch between all of these different things, basically anytime you click the mode button, it's going to bring you into this. It's going to cycle through all of these things here, and then it's going to bring you back to the top. Or if you only want it to be like 3 of these things, you can select FM, AM, and Bluetooth audio. So anytime you click that, it is going to switch between those 3 things. Or you can have it be just 1 of them, you can have it be 2 of them, 3 of them, as many as you want, as little as you want, or you can turn that mode button off by not selecting any of them. Now, the start button is a similar premise. However, you can only select one of these features. So anytime you click the start button, it could cancel the route. It could bring you into your home screen. It could reject or end a phone call. But you can see, you can only select one of these features here with the start button, whereas with the mode button, you could select all of them, none of them, and as many as you want, where again, the start button, you can only select one. So that is what that button does right there. And then if you come to this side of the steering wheel, as standard with the SX Prestige, you get the smart cruise control system with stop and go, as well as the highway driving assistant. So these controls right here are for those driving systems, whereas these 2 buttons, or these 2 controls, are for your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. So I'll get into the digital gauge cluster here in a second, but before getting into that, this is what your windshield wiper control stock looks like. This is for the rear wiper. All of this other stuff is for the front windshield wipers. But now, moving into our gauge cluster. As mentioned, this is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and right now the digital gauge cluster is displaying the tachometer, the coolant temperature gauge, that is the transmission status stuff, the current speed limit, speedometer, fuel gauge, fuel range, ambient exterior temperature. This is like your instant fuel economy. This is your average fuel economy. This is the odometer, and right now the center screen is displaying your driver assistance features. So basically, if you press and hold OK, it's going to pop up your driver assistance features here on the infotainment screen, so you can mess with all of the different driver assistance features if that is something that you wanted to do. And all you had to do to go into that screen is press and hold on the OK button right here when you're in the driver assistance screen. But other than that, If you wanted to go throughout that, you click this. Now it's going to bring me into my drive information. If I click down, then you can see since refueling, the accumulated information, the auto stop start stuff, and the digital speedometer readout. Click this one more time, you can see the compass. Click it one more time, you can see the torque distribution, or you can see your tire pressure stuff. Personally, for me, I like to leave it on the digital speedometer readout screen, but that's just my personal preference. Coming over to here, this is also a 12.3 inch screen, but this is your 12.3 inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. Considering this is a 2024 model year that was refreshed in 2023, this should absolutely have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. That is one of my complaints here with this thing. But this is what the screen looks like. This is the home screen, so you can see your date, your time, your media stuff, and subtly over here you have your navigation stuff. Swipe this way, this is what the secondary screen looks like. So this is like your driver profile stuff. That's the home button, the time, the date. Over here you got your Bluetooth audio stuff, and basically phone projection is your Apple CarPlay stuff. Quiet mode is basically going to turn the rear speakers off, and it's going to turn the front speakers volume all the way down. That is what quiet mode does. And then you get your media stuff. You can bring your climate control throughout the screen if you wanted to as well. This is a view of what the climate control screen looks like. And then just going back to the other screen, you can read all the other stuff. I'm not going to go throughout that. But if you wanted to go into like driver assistance features, instead of going into setup and going into vehicle and going into driver, basically the easiest way to find what you're looking for is go into the setup button, click the magnifying glass right up here, and then type in what you're looking for. So let's say we're looking for the driver assistance. So you basically type in driver assistance, and it's going to pop up the driver assistance stuff over here. So that's what makes it very easy. The magnifying glass, if you're struggling, that is what makes things very easy to find on the infotainment system. So if when in doubt, look for the magnifying glass. But other than that, that's kind of about it for the screen. I guess you could click this. It's going to bring you into the display off button and any of that kind of stuff. But other than that, kind of about it for that screen. Very easy to use. Now beneath that, you get two HVAC vents, you got your hazard button, and then this is where things get interesting. So right now I have this set to the climate control system. So you get a dual zone automatic climate control system, but right now this is set to the temperature controls, this is set to the temperature controls, and this is what the climate control system looks like. You got your front defroster, rear defroster, auto climate, recirculating button, and then you get your AC controls, fan speed, etc. However, if you swiped up like this, now you can see this doubles as like your media stuff. Now this is your volume control knob. Now this is your tuning control knob. Is this too much? Is this too much tech? Let me know in the comments down below. Really, it's not that big of a deal, but let's say, you know, you're trying to talk to somebody and you have the volume all the way up, but right now you're set to the HVAC system. So you, instead of turning the volume down, you turned the temperature control all the way down to low. Whereas what you got to do is swipe down, then you can turn the volume down. So it's just kind of interesting. I feel like it's an extra step that doesn't really, you know, need to happen, but thus it is what it is. But it is very easy to use. I'm just saying, I like to complain in my videos if you can't tell, but I'm just honest, you know. But anyways, if you ever seen any Kia or Hyundai product, it's the same buttons here. You can read all that kind of stuff. These are your shortcut buttons. However, you can see the star that's not filled in. If you click on that star, the star there is the same premise as this star. This star is filled in, this star is not filled in. And basically you can select any of these functions here. You can read throughout all of them, but you can only select one of them. So it's the same as the other star. Honestly, if I was using this star, it would probably be my home button. But basically you can read through all of these different controls, and that is what you can make that star button right here do. I'm gonna leave it on none, so the driver or whoever buys this can set it up to their liking. But beneath that, you get a 12-volt power outlet, you get a USB-A port, you get a USB-C port, you also get a wireless charging pad as standard. That's an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and it does fit in the wireless charging pad. And then you can also see when the phone is charging, that illuminates in amber. And then up top here, it also gives you a battery with the lightning bolt, letting you know that the phone is now charging. So that is pretty cool. Then you get your push button start button there. Behind that, you get your gear shifter. I like the way that this gear shifter feels. It fits very good like on my hand. And when you pull back and you flip, you're in drive and you flip this to the left, if you push up, that is how you upshift. If you push down, that is how you downshift. So basically you can control the transmission yourself when putting it into manual mode. And then as mentioned, when we first stepped into the interior, you get heated and ventilated front seats as standard, and you get 3 levels of adjustability for both of those. Again, that's to turn the heated steering wheel on or off. And one thing that's kind of interesting is that, take a look at this. So right now, I basically have as much storage space as I want right here. It goes through, but they do look like cup holders, right? So let's say you have like this flimsy Celsius can right here. Celsius, please sponsor me. If you click this button, boom, now I got a cup holder and it's not gonna fall over. You can see, whereas before, I can also push this back in, whereas before it would fall over, it could spill everywhere. But I like how this can have a cup holder, and then here at the back, I can click this button, and now this is also a cup holder. Or you can just have as much storage space as you want if you close both of these off. So I don't know, I think that's pretty nice. Just figured I'd point that out. And then right here, if you press that, that is going to turn your hill descent control system on or off. Basically, Kia calls it your downhill brake control. It's hill descent control. There's a closer view of that. Then you got your auto hold function. You press that, the vehicle will then hold you in place by itself with its braking system with that button. This is going to turn the auto stop start system on or off. This is going to pop up your 360-degree view camera system. And then this is going to turn the parking sensor beep, beep, beeps on or off right here. Now, in between all of those buttons, you have this drive mode selector. So if you opted for the $1,800 active all-wheel drive system, not only do you get the center locking diff, you also get the drive modes. So you have 4 drive modes. You got your normal mode, you got your sport mode. You can see sport mode changes the layout of the gauge cluster. Then you got your smart mode. And then all the way down, you have your snow mode. I'm going to leave it in normal mode at the for the current time because we're not going anywhere yet. And then if you click this, this is going to turn or engage the center locking diff. So this is how you engage the center locking diff. And then you get a nicely padded armrest. When you open up the armrest, you get no connectivity down in there. It's probably about 6 inches of depth, followed by about 8 to 10 inches this way. So good amount of storage space down in there. This is what the passenger side looks like. Just ignore my bags. You do not get a lockable lower glove box, but the glove box is illuminated. You can see the owner's manual is in there, and you can still fit your napkins, your straws, and stuff like that. Then you also get that same kind of striped trim here. No auto dimming rear view mirror, just a standard rear view mirror. You get your roadside assistance stuff up top here. This is where it's going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. Basically, your lights up here, reading lights, are touchscreen. Both are LED. This is your instant dome light on button. It's going to turn on all the interior dome lights. And then this button right here is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. So if you click that, it turns to amber. Now when you open up the door, the interior lights will turn on. However, you click that button again, that amber light is not turned on. When you open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. So that is that. And then also, as standard with the Sportage, you get a panoramic roof. So this is what the panoramic roof looks like. It gets a little salty, so just keep that in mind. So if you pull back, basically the sunroof is absolutely huge. Here's a view of what the sunroof looks like from the exterior's perspective. And now I'm going to open it up and show you what the sunroof looks like from the interior's perspective. So before getting into that kind of stuff, you get a vanity mirror right here with a vanity light that you got to turn on by yourself. This is halogen, but you get a nice big vanity mirror. You get a spot you can set any small little paper product. However, let's say you leave this on, right? And you close your visor, the light will turn off by itself, so you don't got to worry about that. But this is what the sunroof looks like here from the interior's perspective. It looks like it's huge, but it really only opens up to what a standard sunroof opens up to. And really, other than the OPU panel that the driver gets and the OPU panel that the front passenger gets, that's really kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. So before moving into the window sticker, I wanted to go over seat comfort. So I think these seats are very comfortable. I like the driving position here in the Sportage. I just did a video with a Telluride, and I definitely like the way that the Sportage feels better. It's just, I don't have a family, so I don't need a Sportage, but I just like the way that this thing feels better here on the interior as compared to the Telluride. Telluride's just a bit too big for what I want right now, and I don't know, I like the driving position here in the Sportage better. But now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at everything that you get as standard, take a look at the 2 options that this one has, but basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Sportage SX Prestige is spec'd is $38,435. And honestly, I think this is a good value for what you get because it's pretty much fully loaded. I mean, what does this have or what does this not have that you would want? You know what I'm saying? It's got everything. And for 38 grand, it's a really nice vehicle. You know, when it comes to looks though, looks are subjective, so you can let me know if you like it or if you don't like the looks in the comments down below. But I am going to close these seats back up. We're going to start with the window back here. Again, you do not get automatic up or down windows back here, but the window does go all the way down. Again, you got to hold it back up. You get a nicely padded armrest, fancy Harman Kardon speaker, spot you can set a water bottle, and a nicely padded armrest. Here are what your second row seats look like. You get a center fold down armrest, and if you pull up on that, that is how you will recline these seats. So if I step on into the interior here, you can see OPU panel, spot you can set your dry cleaning, and an LED dome light. Coming over to here, you can set your phone up top here while you are charging it with the USB-C port either here or there, so you get the USB-C ports mounted on the seat back. You also get a spot you could wrap the cord around there if you wanted to, and you get a seat back pocket behind both the driver and the front passenger seat. You get 2 HVAC vents, a spot you could set your phone down in there if you wanted to as well. Then you get a center fold down armrest as mentioned with 2 cup holders and a nicely padded armrest. Now, if I pull up on that lever I showed you guys just a second ago, that is how you recline these seats. So now, quite a bit of reclinability with these seats. Bear with me here for a second. I'm going to recline these seats as well. So these seats are now very comfortable. You can see quite a ways back that I am reclined. So even your second row passengers can be very, very comfortable on a long road trip. I mean, I don't know any other SUV that has this level of reclinability here in these second row seats. Now, when it comes to knee and leg room, I've got plenty of it. I'm adjusted behind myself, 5'9". Headroom, same thing, plenty of headroom. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video, where this thing drives very, very nicely. It's very comfortable to drive. It also is like a good size because, you know, your second row passengers can be comfortable. If you pack 5 people in this thing, I think everybody, maybe the middle passenger in the rear might not be too comfortable, but you can definitely pack 4 people in this thing with some cargo and everybody will be comfortable. And that is what I do like about the Sportage. And then also here is a nice acceleration for you. I'm basically just going to floor it. Definitely the strong suit of this thing is not its acceleration. However, it does get very good fuel economy, so where it might lack a little bit on power, it will make up for it with its fuel economy. However, you know, a lot of people who buy these things don't really care all that much about power, and honestly, for day-to-day use, it's got more than enough power. You know, right now I have my Camaro at the dealership getting some work done, and they gave me a loaner. I think it's a 2019 Chevy Equinox, and honestly, you know, when you floor it, it's not that powerful. But you know, in day-to-day accelerations, just in daily driving scenarios, I find that it actually has more than enough get up for even what I'm going for in a daily driver. So I don't know what the power figures of that. I can put the power figures of the Equinox on screen right now, but I can tell you from daily driving that thing, I don't really feel like it needs any more power. You know, especially it's an SUV, and it's right now it's averaging about 31 miles per gallon. So I mean, with an SUV averaging 30 miles per gallon, which is probably what this thing would do as well, you can't really complain. It would make for a great daily. It's got enough get up, you know, it's comfortable, the way that it drives and all that kind of stuff. So really, when it comes to like the power and all that kind of stuff, it's really not all that uncomfortable to drive when it comes to its power level. And then also, as mentioned earlier, I really like the driving position of this thing. You know what I mean? It just really gets you in the right spot. You know, I was in a Telluride not too long ago, and that thing, you know, it sat too high for my liking anyway. So, you know, I prefer the seating position in this thing as compared to that. Everybody's got their own opinion on, you know, where they like to sit and what height they like to sit at and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't have like a big family, maybe you got 2 kids and your husband and a wife, you know, I think this thing honestly would be totally fine for you guys. But, you know, let's say you got 3 kids, well, then you're probably approaching the Telluride territory. Even though you could make it work with this thing, everybody's going to be more comfortable you know, if you're a 5-person family, if you got the Telluride. And I know those two are not comparable, but just to compare this to some other competitors, like maybe the Honda CR-V, Mazda CX-5, and all that kind of stuff, they're all different. You know what I mean? The other two competitors don't have the blind spot view system, and I can tell you the CR-V, even if you get the top dog trim level, you're not going to get a 360-degree view camera system. But with the Mazda CX-5, you can get a 360-degree view camera system. And even if you're cross-shopping this with a Mazda CX-50, I mean, really, it comes down to personal preference, what you're looking for. You're going to spend more money with a Mazda to get a 360-degree view camera system. So the Kia, if you're looking for a 360-degree view camera system, you can get this cheaper than a Mazda with this having a 360-degree view camera system. Pretty much all of them come with you know, smart cruise control or adaptive cruise control. So really, it all comes down to personal preference, which one you like the look of better, which one you like, you know, the seating position in better, which one's more comfortable. I think this is very, very comfortable, but the other two are also very comfortable as well. So again, it really all comes down to personal preference, which one you like the acceleration better. One thing about the CX-5 is that you can get, you know, the turbo power plant, which is going to give you quite a bit more power than this or the CR-V power level. So again, all comes down to personal preference, what kind of money you're trying to spend. But if you're looking for something that's just got enough power, good gas mileage, good sound system, honestly, this is a great contender in the SUV class. So again, all comes down to personal preference. I can just tell you, this thing's very comfortable to drive. I like the seating position, and you get a ton of features for the money. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things really help my channel grow. I'll greatly appreciate it. It gets me one step closer to my dreams, each like, each comment, each subscription. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!